These are my prints from the last video, the one with 3 colors and a simple texture to create some detailed prints. And as you can see, I've cut off the white edges of the cardstock, just leaving the main part of the print. I'm going to be paper punching these and die cutting them, and this just makes it easier to reach the actual print. So I've cut all my pieces from my gel press prints, I've assembled my cards, and I'm ready to give you a tour of them. The cards I'm going to show you are really more about ideas and techniques than using the same shapes I used or making the same cards I made. So for instance, I love hexagons, so I have a hexagon punch. You might not, but if you're really into hearts or stars or circles, try making the same type of card using the punches you have and really love. All right, let's get started with that tour. So, simple rectangles. This one I just did like a 3x3 square, and it's actually embossed, which you can't tell because it's kind of a busy image to begin with, but it's just an embossed gel print, which is a really cool thing to do with your gel press prints. And I feel like it just anchors a really simple card. This is a quick and easy card to put together. And because it has a gel press print, instead of using scrapbooking paper or plain cardstock, it just adds a little extra touch. I mean, if you use, say, scrapbook paper, that might be a really pretty pattern, but it's not something that you created yourself. When you gel print, this is your art and your creativity on display. You picked the colors, you made the print. So that's why I really like using gel prints in my cards. So there you go, simple square. Next one again shows off what a simple rectangle can do. Again, another quick and easy card. It's just framed out with a couple layers of solid cardstock. But then the print really, I think, emphasizes the middle where the sentiment is. And again, it's a really great way to show off your artwork, because that's what your gel print is. It is your artwork without overwhelming the card. It actually enhances the card. Okay, so to move outside the rectangle, beyond the rectangle. Oh, and this first one is really beyond the rectangle. So I had these diamond-shaped dies, and I decided to do a frame. And I originally had it, more traditionally on a regular card, and then I cut a little around the frame, and then a little more. And I actually really kind of like how this turned out. This would be fun to get in an envelope, just something a little different. And I really just sort of like how funky the whole card is. Funky shape, the funky frame, the bright colors. So I really like how this one turned out. Again, a simpler idea of a frame. This one, the frame is just around the word thanks. Again, this is another quick card to make. It's just, a little embossing, some washi tape, some embellishments, and a little bit of die cutting. But it really turned out nicely, and I really feel like having the gel print behind the word adds just an extra little artistic touch. Okay, this one's a sentimental favorite. I love hexagons. I might have mentioned that before. And so I punched a bunch of them and lined them up for this card, and then hand leathered it. So you could also use alphabet die cuts. You could use alphabet stamps. But I just really like the way the hexagons line up with each other, and and there's one letter for each hexagon. One thing you could do with this, if you do have hexagons, maybe, consider doing it in like yellow and black colors like that. And adding a bee or something about honey. I love you, honey. Just for that little pun on the beehive or honeycomb. Okay, so from frames to geometric shapes. I think this is one we see pretty commonly. Sort of the banner with the tail, like a type of flag. And this one's simple to put together. This I stamped and then markered over the sentiment because it didn't necessarily show well against the complicated patterns. So let that be a lesson. Sometimes stuff doesn't always work out like you thought it would, but it's often salvageable. So this one I stamped in black, stamped over it in white, and then again in black, and it looked pretty good. Went over it in black marker so it would show more. So it's not perfect, but it's definitely handmade. Okay, so we have the hexagon and the other geometric shape. Now to some more complex shapes. I really love birds. I suspect I'm not the only one, since I see so many birds and wings and sort of flying themed card and stamp and die sets. So, but I really like how the rest of the card is really simple, just black and white and the blue of the card. And so the birds really are able to shine against such a simple background. The white does what it's supposed to do. It looks like clouds, kind of abstract clouds. And so I think it all works together. And finally, my favorite card of this whole bunch. So I love this sort of person die cut set. I have the head and the body and a bunch of hairstyles. What I don't have is any clothes, and I was trying to figure out how I could use them with the gel prints. And I thought about making an alien or a fairy kind of body and just cutting the whole body and head directly from a really colorful gel print, and that didn't quite work for me. And I thought, well, if I can make some clothes, that would work. So, but I don't have any clothing dyes. So time to get creative and think outside the rectangle, think outside the box, which is what I've been telling you to do. So this skirt here is actually from one of my tree and branch die sets. So this is actually supposed to be the top of a tree. I have a tree trunk and branches that go with it. I thought, well, that's kind of skirt shaped, and so I really like how it turned out. It's probably a little shorter than I would wear, but I think it turned out really cute. And I think it really shows off how using your gel prints in unexpected ways can lead to a pretty funky card. So that's my last one. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I am Jen of Plus One Craft. Happy to show you ways to think outside the rectangle of your gel prints and how to get more use out of your gel press. So please visit my website at plusoncraft.com, and don't forget to create every day.